Real spiritual practice entails devoting every moment of your life to your liberation. Real spiritual practice entails devoting every moment of your life to your liberation. If you are devoting your time to anything less than that, you are wasting your life. If you're devoting your time to anything less than your liberation, you are wasting your life. So those words come from Michael A. Singer in his book, Living Untethered. And Michael Singer wrote the book, it's a very well-known bestseller called The Untethered Life. Then he wrote The Surrender Experiment, and then he most recently wrote Living Untethered. He has many, 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 many podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, and even on YouTube, there are so many talks of his. So I've been steeping myself in his work for the last 2 or 3 months. I mean steeping. I've been doing a book study with Justin's wife. We've been doing Living Untethered together. And so when Reverend Laura approached me and she said, "You want to speak in April, and the theme is trusting what is," I thought, okay, this is up my alley. I can get up there and be authentic talking about something that I've been steeping myself in for a long time. So that's the theme for April, trusting what is. And my topic today is trusting what is, a path to liberation. So first of all, we need to know what trusting what is means. So trusting what is really means acceptance. It means non-resistance to reality. Non-resistance to reality. So how is trusting what is, non-resistance to reality, acceptance, a path to liberation? Well, there are 3 things I think we need to understand in order for us to understand that. The first thing is, who am I? The second thing is objects of consciousness. And the third thing is the human experience. So, one at a time. The first thing and the most important thing is, who am I? So if I ask you, or I say to you, "Hi, are you in there? Are you in there?" What response are you having inside? Yes. Nobody's saying, "No, I'm not in here. I'm over at Starbucks." I'm in here. Okay, so to isolate what you in there means, are you in there? I'm going to give you a few examples. Some of you have heard me give these before, but they're classics. It's classic Michael Singer stuff, and it's super helpful to understand. If I ask you, which one of these are you? The piano, the chair, or the podium? Which one of those things are you? None. You're not any of those things. You are the one who sees those things. That's who you are. If I asked you to remember looking at your reflection in the mirror when you were 4 years old, and looking at your reflection in the mirror when you were 10 and 20 and 30 and 60 and 80, the reflection is changing, isn't it? It's always changing. But the me that's seeing that reflection, the I that I am, doesn't change. Who sees doesn't change. So who am I? I am the one who sees. That's who I am. This is the nature of our true self. This is what is often called the seat of the self, the seat of awareness, the seat of consciousness. When I am in here, and I know that I am the one who sees, and everything out here is what I'm seeing. So what I'm realizing is that my relationship to what I see is always subject-object. The one who sees is always the subject, and what I see is always the object. And while the objects out here can change, and will change moment to moment to moment, The one who sees doesn't change. Okay? Okay, let's take a breath. Okay. The second thing is those objects of consciousness. So we've determined I'm in here. You're in there. I am conscious. But what I'm conscious of, it's not always really cool in here. Like, really, it is not always pleasant in here. It is not nice. And so what experience am I having inside? There's really three things that I'm experiencing inside. These are the objects of consciousness. The first thing is, I'm experiencing the outside world coming in through my senses. Yes? That's what we're experiencing. I'm experiencing my thoughts. Now, if I asked you, who is that talking inside of you? You might say, oh, it's me. But really, it's not you. Your thoughts, that voice talking in your head is not you. It's something you notice in there. And the third thing that's happening inside is we're experiencing feelings and emotions, right? Feelings and emotions. Some of them are pleasant, some of them are unpleasant. So, I am the one who sees. That's who I am. That's the seat of the self, the seat of consciousness. That's what's meant when we say the kingdom is within. The kingdom is within. The outside world, my thoughts and my emotions, are the objects of consciousness. Okay? So those are the first two things. Third thing is, what is happening in the human scene? What is the human experience about? So imagine that I'm in here. I am the one who sees. I am the subject. And I'm experiencing the outside world, the thoughts inside me, the feelings inside me. Those are the objects of consciousness. Ideally, I am trusting what is. I'm accepting life. I'm in this mode of acceptance. I'm resisting nothing. I am simply the one who sees. I'm observing things, I'm witnessing things, I'm enjoying things. I notice some things are sad, but it's okay. I'm learning as I go, and energetically, everything is passing through me. It's passing through me, and all is well. Is this what we're doing? No! It's not what we're doing. Here's what happens. This is the human experience. I'm born into this life, I have experiences. Some of the experiences I don't like. They are unpleasant. I resist them. I push them away. I decide and label things and judge things as good and bad. Okay? So, if they're good, I feel okay inside about them, and I can let them pass through. If they're bad, I judge them as bad, I resist them. And what I resist does not pass through and gets stuck inside me. And in the yogic tradition, those things that are stuck inside me, those blockages, are called samskaras. Okay, so the samskaras are just the blockages. Okay, so because I have these blockages, so when I hit up against them, it's uncomfortable, I develop preferences. Things I like and things I don't like. So I prefer it this way, I prefer it that way, right? This is the development of the personal self. I am the one who sees, but I developed a personal self because I had experiences I didn't like. I pushed them down, it created a blockage, and as a result of that, I had to create a whole bunch of stuff I like and I don't like in order to keep me safe. And so then our life becomes about four things. Now, I'm going to share these with you. I invite you to just think. If you really sit and think about this and observe your own mind, you will see this is what you're thinking most of the time. Our mind is working overtime on these things. So this is what our life becomes about when we have a bunch of preferences and blockages. What will make me okay? Because when I have these blockages, I don't feel okay inside. Does anybody ever have times you don't feel okay inside? You just don't feel okay inside. So then my life becomes about what will make me okay, and how do I get it? and what won't make me okay, and how do I avoid it? And then I say, mind, and my mind is brilliant, as is yours, get busy figuring that out for me. It's like a computer. So my mind is busy, isn't it? Running all the numbers, running all the scenarios. I need to do this, I need to do that. Don't do this, don't do that. You need to do this, you need to do that. Okay, if this happens, these are three. That's what's going on in right. That's the human scene. And it's happening because I'm not okay inside, and I've asked my brain, my mind, to figure out every scenario to try to keep me safe. Anyone relate to this? Okay. I'm going to give you this example because it's a really good thing that Michael Singer shares in his book, The Untethered Soul. And this is what that experience is like. I have an experience in life and I resist it. It could be my parents get a divorce, my friend dies, somebody calls me fat when I'm 6. Do you know what I mean? I ride a bike and fall off. I have all these experiences. I push them away. I resist them, and so those create blockages inside. So imagine each one of those blockages is a thorn. So right here, let's say I fell off my bike and I don't like to ride a bike now, and so I have this thorn in my arm here. My life now becomes about making sure that thorn doesn't get hit. I'm not going to ride bikes. If you invite me over here, I can't go over to so-and-so's house. They always ride bikes, so I need to stay home. Do you understand? We start building our life around our preferences. We start building it around there. I got to do everything I can to make sure this doesn't get hit. And then, not only am I not trying to get it hit, I might start inventing things to protect that thorn so it doesn't get hit. So my life really becomes about this thorn, right? I'm avoiding it, or I'm trying to find ways, like if I make a contraption that I can strap on my arm and it's metal and it goes like this, I could bang into this and it won't hit the thorn. Okay, that's good, I'm inventing that. Hey, I'm going to get famous inventing that, and I'm going to sell it to everybody because everybody else needs it for their thorns too. Can you see how this becomes the human experience? So, let me see where I am. The thorns. So, imagine all the thorns that we have inside. So are you getting the feeling? And I know you're getting the feeling because you're inside you and you feel what it's like in there. We're trying to maneuver our way through life, not getting these thorns hit. That's what we're doing. And we don't have one thorn. We have a lot of them. And they're running our life. So we need to get these stored patterns out. We need to remove the thorns. So as the Buddhists say, get to the root. The root is not what's happening out here. The root is what's happening in here. The thorn that I have. So, releasing the thorns, getting rid of that, is the secret of real spiritual growth. That's the secret of real spiritual growth. And I figure we have two choices. I have two choices. I devote my life to getting the outside world to match my samskaras, to work with my thorns, or I devote my life to letting go of those samskaras, those thorns. Which do you think would be more productive? Which kind of reminds you of a hamster on a hamster wheel that's going nowhere, right? So anytime I notice a disturbance inside, I can ask, am I in here noticing this? I'm moving through my life. I experience some disturbance inside. I'm feeling resistance to something. That's how I know I'm resisting something. And I ask, am I in here noticing this? Not, what do I need to do about this to be okay? Do you see the difference? Am I in here noticing this? Who is noticing? Takes me inside. That's where I really have some power to do something. It takes me inside. If I ask, uh-oh, what do I need to do about this to make me okay? That takes me outside. The problem's not outside. The problem's not outside. The problem's inside. So, who is noticing? Asking myself, who is noticing this? Who's noticing that I'm feeling out of sorts? Who's noticing that I'm feeling grumpy? Who's noticing that I'm afraid? Who's noticing that I'm anxious? Who's noticing that I'm being unkind? Who's noticing? That's the answer to everything. Because when I ask that question, who's noticing, I remember I am the one who sees. I am not the piano. I am not the chair. I'm not the podium. I am not this inner disturbance. And I am not the thoughts and emotions that are stirred up inside because of this disturbance. I am not those. That's the path to freedom right there. If I don't get pulled into all those thoughts and emotions, I can just relax and notice, right? We call this witness consciousness, right? Resting in the seat of the self. That's a self with a capital S, of course. So I relax through my initial resistance. Something's happened, I feel resistance. I relax through that initial resistance, and then I release any disturbed energy that comes up. I relax and release. This is the spiritual practice. I relax and I release. Now it gives R&R new meaning. Relax and release. So, if I'm not getting sucked into the game, listen, this is the human experience, peeps. If I'm not getting sucked into the game of what needs to happen to make me feel okay, can you feel how our lives would be so different? Okay, so first I relax and I lean away. And then I'm creating distance between that subject and object, right? I'm creating distance, spaciousness as soon as I remember, hey, wait a minute, who's in here noticing this? And what am I noticing? I've remembered the subject-object relationship, which creates space for that blockage to release. And truly, it's as simple as that. If you just started practicing that every moment of every day. Because here's the thing. Trusting what is means I accept what is, but trusting what is also means there is this intelligence within me. Spirit is within me, and Spirit knows what I've got going on inside and is always working to provide me opportunities to release it. Right? I don't have to think, what do I need to do? I need to work on this. I need to do this. I just need to go and live my life. And as soon as I feel an inner disturbance, I think, oh, there's something. Who's noticing? Okay, I'm leaning back. I'm noticing the thoughts and feelings that are coming up. And those thoughts and feelings that come up sometimes might be uncomfortable. And that's natural because we stored these samskaras with pain, and they're going to release with pain. But if I let them release, it's the pain that will end all pain. If I push it back down, guess what? It's still in there, running my life. So, there are the three things I told you that are happening inside, right? The outside world, I'm experiencing that inside, I'm experiencing thoughts, and I'm experiencing emotions. There's a fourth thing going on inside, and that is energy, right? We all feel energy inside. And that energy, we can call it Shakti, right? The life force, the chi, that energy is inside. And it's either open or closed. It's like if I have a door deep within me, right? And when things are going well, that door is open and the energy is flowing. But when I'm resisting something, or one of my thorns gets hit, that door closes and I shut down. Energy shifts, right? We know what it feels like to have that closed energy. It feels depressed, we feel anxious, we feel fearful, we feel worried, we feel like we need to control things, our mind is working overtime. We can literally even feel suicidal. It's a dark place when we close that energy. So when we open the energy, we all know what that feels like too. We've all had those moments when we're in the flow, we're in the moment. I'm accepting what is. I'm just letting it pass through. It's all good. It feels energizing. It feels uplifting. I'm inspired. I feel love. I feel joy. I feel excitement. I know what a creative being I am, and all this creativity is flowing through, right? Because my brain's not working out all the time. Okay, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? Okay, you need to do this, you need to do this. If I'm just in the moment and I'm accepting what is, my brain is free to be its brilliant self and reveal to me whatever I need to know in the moment. Ooh, sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds so good. Okay, so we've got this energy inside. And the bottom line is, here's my second mind map. We're either open or closed. Every minute of every day, we're either open or closed. And when I'm closed, I don't feel good inside. It's real simple. If I'm closed, I don't feel good inside. And if I'm open, I feel good inside. And our whole deal as human beings is to make myself feel okay inside. So sometimes I think that's getting the job, that's getting the boyfriend, that's moving over here, that's getting out of debt, that's all these things. This is what we do, right? We're focusing my life on all these things so that I'm okay inside. You can do that all your life. You'll never get there. Right? If you're devoting your life to anything less than your liberation, you're wasting your life. You are a hamster on a hamster wheel. Does this make sense? We're all caught up in it. We're all caught up in it. So the bottom line is I'm either open or closed, and I can feel that. Check in with yourself right now. You can feel if you're open or closed. Hopefully you're super open. But so then I have an intention. I have an intention to stay open and don't close. It's kind of as simple as that. So every day as I'm moving through my life, when I feel myself close, just decide, you know what? I'm not closing. I'm going to stay open. I'm going to liberate myself. I'm going to keep relaxing and releasing. I'm going to keep relaxing and releasing. And I'm going to let the experience come. The experience of life is going to come. And I'm going to accept things and feel the joy and the flow of everything in complete openness, or I'm going to feel resistance. And when I do, I feel myself struggling, I let it go. Let what go? The part of me that's struggling. And here's the thing, and I know this. I don't even need to know all the details about what it is. I just notice a disturbance in the inner field. I relax, I release, I lean back, and I can watch them. Oh, look at that. I got all these feelings about how I'm not enough. Oh, look at that. I feel like she hates me because she didn't talk to me. Oh, look at that. I'm just leaning back watching them, just like I can lean back and look at that chair. So that's the opportunity, is to lean back, let those feelings come up. They come up. I'm observing them. They're not who I am. I'm okay. I let them come up and they pass through. And here's what happens. I don't have to release every single blockage that I have, every single thorn. What happens is I can start, like when you leave here today, start with the low-lying fruit, the low-hanging fruit. Someone's driving too slow in front of me, it's pissing me off. I'm bugged, right? I feel resistance. Well, right then, I just need to relax. Just relax and notice, oh, look at that. I'm feeling really bugged by this. And this is where we can employ other spiritual techniques like affirmation, positive thinking, mantras, witness consciousness. All our spiritual techniques can be applied to relaxing and releasing and staying open and not closing. Everything you know, you can apply to this. So when I'm in that moment, I'm bugged by the person driving slowly in front of me, I can go back to my lovely mantra, be still and know that I am God. Be still. And when I'm doing that, what am I doing? I'm relaxing. I'm staying open. I'm noticing this discomfort, and I'm letting it pass through. Well, after a while, when I'm working at that level, that whole level is released. I don't need to do that for 52 years. I just do it for a while, and that level is released, and then I go to a deeper level, and then I go to a deeper level. So that's what happened, and the spirit within each of us is guiding us. I just need to pay attention to my life. And that's what trusting what is also means. I trust what is. I trust my life. I trust that when I have an inner disturbance, it's spirit saying, hey, you have an opportunity here. Do you want to release this samskara, or do you want to manipulate the world to make you feel okay about it? That's the choice we have every moment of every day. So, when I wake up in the morning, I'm looking at the time, and it's like, we got kind of started late and whatever, so I'm just flowing with it, peeps. I'm almost done. When I wake up in the morning, I have a remote control blind on my window. And so I lay in bed, I push the thing, and the blind comes up. And as soon as that blind comes up, I'm thinking, I am lifting the veil today. I am not going to be in this human experience struggling around, trying to make the world work for me so that I feel okay. How ridiculous is that? I'm lifting the veil. This is the day the Lord has made, right? So then I say to myself, I can handle whatever happens today, right? There's a little affirmation. I can handle whatever happens today. And so then I tell my mind, you don't have to work overtime to protect me and to figure everything out. I'm just going to be in the moment. I know I can handle what comes up. And when it comes up, your brilliance is going to be right there to help me. So it's okay for you to be quiet. It's okay for your mind to be quiet because I'm saying you're off the hook. I'm the one who asked it to do it. That's why it's doing it. Protect me, please. Figure out 253 scenarios so that I can be okay. Well, if I say, you know what, you don't have to do that anymore, our mind becomes quieter. We spend more time in the seat of the soul, the seat of the self. So then I just decide I'm going to stay open today. Whenever I notice as I'm moving through my day, if I'm closed, I'm going to relax, I'm going to release, and I'm going to open. It's really as simple as that. So eventually what happens if we practice this, right? That the spiritual practice entails devoting every single moment of my life to my liberation, that I am using my life to free myself. Any intention less than that is, again, a waste of time, because I can get all these things that I want to change in the outside world. How long does that last? 5 minutes? Then I need something else. So my intention is liberation, and eventually I rise above these lower energies, right? And I'm releasing, and I'm releasing, and I'm rising above, and I'm floating above, and it literally feels like that, because that Shakti energy, it's rising up. When we're closed, it's pushing us down. And that rising up energy is our natural state. That's our natural state. That's how we're supposed to be all the time. So after a little while, I notice I'm not in the water anymore, getting my thorns banged around, hitting every rock, trying to maneuver the rapids. I'm standing on the bridge above the river, looking, right? Now I am centered in the seat of the self, the kingdom of God within, watching the objects of consciousness, trusting what is, in the world and not of it, liberated. And so it is. Okay. I would like to invite the practitioners to stand up and form a circle around the sanctuary as we enter into prayer. Thank you for hanging in there with me. And I encourage you, get in your car and find Michael Singer podcast on your phone and play it on the way home and start listening to it, because I've given you a big umbrella of information. There's so much in here. Like I said, I've been working with it for months, every day, and it's so rich. So I invite you to delve into it. So this was just a teaser. Now you can get busy, going by the untethered soul or living untethered. Okay, let's close our eyes. In this moment, I give thanks. I give thanks for remembering that I am the one who sees. I am that I am. The kingdom of God is within, and I can release and let go. Because truly 100% of spiritual growth is about letting go, relaxing and releasing. And so in this moment, I give thanks for my intention and for my will to free myself. And I remember that my intention is the direction the soul is looking. My intention is the direction the soul is looking, and the will is the power that guides it that way. So I set a clear intention today, and I engage my will to free myself. I am a free being. I am the one who sees. I am that Shakti flowing up, rising, expanding, inspiring me, uplifting me, and everyone else around me. That is my true nature, and I say yes to that. I say yes to that. And I know that as I do, that which no longer serves me is released. It's released, and I am free, back in the Father's house, in the world and not of it. experiencing life as it is meant to be, trusting what is, and liberating myself. And so it is.